Well, it's 11 o'clock and finally finished. Boy, that was well, honestly, I thought I'd be out here until midnight or so I guess I'm done early, but I still am ready to go home. That light is blinding me. Go home, get something to eat, and go to sleep.
Good morning. Here we are the next day out in the field, and as you can see, the clouds are already starting to roll in here a little bit. But we did get finished. No breakdowns, no major events to speak of, which is good. So now it's just a matter of if I can get somebody to come out here and stack this. So there are a few bales out here. Actually, this little field yielded better per acre, I think, than the bigger field did, which I expected after I cut it. I kind of knew that was going to be the case. Now, if these bales do get rained on before they're stacked, it's not the end of the world, but it's definitely not ideal either. It's a lot better to get the bales rained on than it would be to get the windrows rained on. So at least we got that going for us. You know, if it's a light shower, you can just let the bales sit out for a few days and most of that will dry up, and hopefully they don't mold any. I've seen it go both ways, so it just depends on how much rain they get on them. So anyway, not ideal, but we've had worse. In the last video I got quite a few comments, actually more than I was expecting, about this baler, so I thought I'd talk a little bit more about it. It makes a 16 by 24 inch bale that we set it for about 4 foot long. That's what the Harrow Beds, which is the machine that stacks them, that's what they want them to be. So that's what we set them as. And the bales weigh between 100 and 105. I'm sure there are a few that are, you know, a little bit heavier, a little bit lighter, but that's kind of what we shoot for, is 100 pounds. I always say, for the way that I have to handle them, I sure wouldn't want them any heavier than that. I really don't understand why these heavier bales are so popular in this area. I kind of wish that people liked 70-pound bales around here, but this is what everybody wants. So this is, when you're selling retail, hey, it's not about what you want to sell them, it's about what they want to buy. So this is what we do. I think what I like the best about these is that they have their own Deutz 4-cylinder diesel engine. So what's nice about that is it's a lot easier to control your speed with the tractor. In other words, when I'm going along and I'm trying to get 14 stroke bales, if I get in a little bit heavier hay, I can throttle the tractor down a little bit to decrease my speed, whereas with a PTO baler, I don't think you can do that. I've never actually ran a PTO baler, but I would imagine that you need your RPMs up all the time to keep that thing going. So the nice thing about these balers is I can just be idling that tractor along, and this 4-cylinder diesel has got plenty of power to swallow pretty much any amount of hay that you try to shove into it. Because this is borrowed equipment, I always make a point to return it in better shape than I picked it up in. So now I'm going to open up all the shields on this thing and blow it out, clean it up, and then I'll give you guys a little bit more in-depth look of what's going on with this baler. All right, I got this baler all greased up and cleaned up, so now would be the best time to kind of give you a look inside and just get an idea how this works. I know some of you are interested, some maybe not as much, but hey, we're gonna do it anyway. So while I was greasing the baler and cleaning it up, I got a phone call from the guy that's running the Harrow Bed, and he will in fact be here this afternoon, so that is great news. I'm really happy to hear that. Anyway, back to what we're doing. So you got your monster flywheel like any small square has. You got your big old gearboxes. I mean, these things are massive. I had never actually really looked at them before. Wow. Plunger's right there. This is an inline baler. You can see the hay. I can get in here. The hay goes right here in the middle. Those two augers on either side push it right to the center, and it picks it up into the chamber, which is right in here, and shoves it straight out the back. So you can see the chamber and the knotters are all right here in the center of the baler. So the benefit to having a centered baler like that, or a centered bale chute I should say, is more like in more delicate crops like alfalfa, because you don't have that secondary motion of pulling the hay to the side to get it to the chamber. You don't lose as many leaves. So they say you can bale alfalfa drier with this, but on the other hand, with like a New Holland with a cross chamber, you can bale it on a little bit more on the wet side because it mixes it up a little bit more. All right, well, I've got to run this thing back to its rightful owner, and when the Harrow Bed gets here and starts stacking, I'm gonna try to film a little bit of that if he's cool with it, which I think he will be because he's a cool guy. So, but yeah, you guys that have only ever dealt with round bales or small two-twine bales, I'm guessing a lot of you probably haven't seen a Harrow Bed work, and they're actually, I think they're really cool. They're fun to watch. So I will see you when we get going doing that.
The Harrow Bed is supposed to be over at the field right now picking up bales, so we're going to run over and see if we can catch him.
Makes each tier and then pops it up, and that's how he makes a stack. Kind of a neat machine.
That's all like clockwork. All right, well, I hope you guys enjoyed that, and I hope that clears up some questions that people had about how we stack the hay and why the bales are on their edge like that when they come out of the baler. Big thank you to LT for letting me ride along and film you while you're working. I appreciate that, and I think a lot of the other people watching appreciate it too, so thanks, man. It is the next day, and once again the weatherman has screwed me over. It's about to start raining any second, it looks like. They were saying it wasn't going to start until 5 o'clock this evening, but I got some alerts on my phone this morning saying anytime. So we are racing over to the field with tarps to get the stacks covered. The Harrow Bed man went until midnight last night and didn't quite get finished, so he's out there finishing up right now. So yeah, it's go right now. Just need to get these stacks covered. Probably won't film much of it because I don't have time to mess around with the camera. I got to get this done. But once the tarps are on there, I'll check in with you guys again, and we can check out the yield and go over all that good stuff. So I will see you in a minute. Well, the good news is he got this field done last night, I think, and this was the better hay. This is what I was probably going to push as the retail hay. And the stuff he's working on now, I don't know if you guys can see him going over there, but the stuff he's working on now, I was probably just going to keep for the cows anyway, so if that gets sprinkled on a little bit, I'm not going to be too distraught, but still, be nice to have everything covered, so we'll see what we can do.
All right, well, we got both stacks tarped now. Probably not the prettiest tarp job, but not the worst either. It'll do. This smaller stack is probably just gonna go to the cows, so if it gets a little bit wet, I'm not too worried about it. This stack, on the other hand, will be the retail hay, so try to get it covered a little bit better. So now all the bales are in and stacked. Let's talk numbers. This larger stack behind me is about 16 and a half individual stacks, which are 88 bales a piece. And those bales are each 100 pounds, as I think I've mentioned a few times. So long story short, on this bigger field, we got approximately 70 bales to the acre. Now, this little field that is this stack, we ended up with, I believe, 13 and a half stacks, which pencils out to about 80 bales to the acre. So that is 80 bales, that's easy math. That's 4 tons to the acre. And this one, 70 bales, is 3.5 tons to the acre. So not bad. I think we did pretty good. I think this field honestly could have done a lot better, but I had some issues with the spreader putting the seed out, and I don't think my seed coverage was very good, because I noticed when I was cutting it, I'd have a really dense row and then a really light row. So I think that my seed wasn't covering the ground very well. Next year, or I guess this year, I'll definitely keep an eye on that and try to get better seed distribution, and I think that I can increase the yield a little bit on this field. Well, we didn't get these tarps on a minute too soon because it is starting to rain right now. In fact, I'm going to get out of here. Thanks for hanging out in the field with me today, guys. I hope I'll see you again on Farmer Tyler Ranch.